they're just all the same. It's the same for all of them. You motherfucker. Ah, shit, whatever.
It keeps happening.
Son, this is just gonna keep happening and happening. I want to buy my ducks. Where my duck at? Oh, hi. Did I already buy ducks? Okay, I bought ducks already.
Ducks. Duck hunt.
That might be a little too loud. There we go. 9. Dirt poor. You're not saying your usual thing and I'm scared, man.
I mean, do you have anything interesting to talk about?
That's a good question.
Is something the matter?
Alright. As none of you know, we just came back from the college again.
And it's probably I'm probably still gonna be in college by the time this is uploaded.
And I'm probably not gonna be. So, this is my last quarter. So this was my last quarter in, whatchamacallit?
College?
College. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing. So, even if I actually haven't graduated, due to missing whatever, I'm probably not going to attend college ever again. Because as far as I'm concerned, after learning about, like, all the ins and outs of what a computer does, and all those things and nonsense, right? I'm pretty sure I have a firm grasp on the concepts, and I'm not going to take some random, like, statistics class just to graduate, you know? I'm pretty sure I'm done. What about you?
I get to learn about compilers.
Speaking of compilers,
I still have more classes to go through.
Speaking of compilers, what classes did you take this quarter?
I had Introduction to Grammars.
Introduction to Grammar. So
It's pretty much a theory class.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate finite state machines?
They're not that bad.
Alright, that's pretty neat. I kind of like finite state machines because it's very neat and organized.
What I don't like is the pumping lemma.
Pumping lemma, oh my god.
That's what I don't like.
Why? Why is that a thing?
Because you gotta figure out if it's context free or not.
Yay! Yeah, the stuff they make you learn in grammars is kind of hate.
I mean, we did get to learn about Turing machines.
Yep, Turing machines.
Turing machines are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're neat. No, you'll probably never end up using one ever though.
Probably not.
Yeah.
They're still cool.
Yeah. They're the highest. You can make almost any language with the Turing machine.
Almost.
Almost.
You probably can't replicate human thought with it.
No, the human thought. Don't you mean the human language? Or can you replicate the human language with the Turing machine?
These saucers should back off once you take out the last of the dropships.
It's the last language right?
There's probably a neural network trying to work on replicating human language.
Alright. Is the neural network you're describing using Markov or not?
I'm not the one doing it. Someone else probably is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to finally kill that mushroom. Yeah.
What did that mushroom ever do to you?
You deserved it. He knows it. So, so the thing is though, like you learn the FSMs, right? Which is something you'll use again in compilers, like completely for sure, right? And the thing thing about finite state machines for language is that it's not the same finite state machines that you use for like regular computing.
Yeah.
I think you're learning it. I think you learned it in opposite for me. Like you learned like the polling type state machines before you learned about the language ones, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I learned languages first, and then I took hardware software interface, which also uses state machines, but uses it completely differently. And for those of you who don't know, which I'm going to assume is everyone not in the major, right? The thing about language machines, finite state machines, is that your input is already there.
Yeah.
You already get your whole input. Like, you want to figure out if this string belongs to your language. There you go. That's your input.
You just have to read the characters.
Yeah. But in whatchamacallit, in computing with finite state machines, the input has to be polled first. If you don't know what polling means, then in the computing context, then just look it up on Google, you little shit. I ain't gonna describe it to you. What do you think I went to college for? But yeah. So how did you enjoy your grammars?
It's not trivial.
Not trivial.
I did manage to get over 100% on a midterm, though.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I'll never be able to get that kind of score.
And I was the only one who did so I got a nice target painted on my back.
Nice. How many people became your friend afterwards?
Everyone became my enemy.
Why though? They should just ask you to do your
Because they
homework.
want the curve. They want it easy.
Oh, whatever. Just get good. Or don't care about the grades like I do.
And like, these are all people who went to the study sessions, and I never went to a study session.
Well, that's because you know this stuff, yeah? You're just above average human being.
Like, everything in that midterm pretty much made sense to me.
Yeah. That's good then. You know your language now. So then when you get to compilers, you can complain about everything you learned. Like, how much do you know about compilers already?
Not much.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, the whole basis of compilers, I think I described this when I took the compilers class, but the whole point of compilers is all it does is translate one language into another language. That's the whole point of it. So, like, for your standard, like, code compilers, if you're, like, writing in C or whatnot. If you're, like, motherfucker, stop talking, I'm trying to concentrate. So like in the context of like you're writing a program in C and you need to use G++ to compile it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you use GPP to compile the C code. But
GCC?
GCC to compile G code, but whatever, fuck you.
H-26 has been vaporized, sir. But the force field has been deactivated. All right. Now, Trooper deserves an end. Complete your mission and report back today's briefing.
Okay, so like, god damn it, I lost my train of thought. Let me get it back for a second.
Compilers, code.
Yeah, it's the GCC is translating your C code into machine code. So from one language into another language, which is fun. Did you do the whatchamacallit? Fuck.
Describe it.
Machine code.
Machine code. What, like, assembly?
Yeah.
There was a whole class about assembly.
Did you take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was pretty early on, I think.
Yeah. That's fairly early. That's like your second year, I would assume, for computer science at least.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, you basically take regular code. Fuck. You basically take regular code and then just do that. Just do the whatchamacallit to it. Goddamn, I can't speak.
Speaking is hard.
You take one language and compute it into the goddamn into the machine code. That's all I had to do for my compiler project, at least. So
I have no clue what this class is gonna make me do.
oh fuck. Damn it.
I also have to balance this alongside the senior project.
Yeah.
The main issue I expect with the senior project is I get to learn the Windows graphics stack.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain, actually. I sympathize with you.
So hey, maybe next break I'll get to tell you how good or bad the Windows stack is.
You should, because I'll probably end up complaining about how Android works.
Oh, I've already heard some of the issues with Android.
You haven't heard it from me though. That's that's whose opinion should always matter.
Wait, what kind of issues do you have with Android?
Okay, so I took the so let me start off with I took the Android class, the Android development class, because there's a whole class for that for an elective, and I need those things in order to
graduate.
Quote unquote graduate.
Supposedly
graduate.
I probably get to deal with my own shenanigans because the class catalogs changed between years.
Yeah. So
that's fun.
So in this Android development class, right, we develop using Android, and the whole thing. And my favorite part about that class is that the professor basically didn't go over anything that Android actually that the Android thing actually does.
Oh.
So it's like, yo, you wanna figure out how to do X? Well, too bad. Look it up in the documentation, you little shit. And then still be confused because the documentation sucks. I don't know what.
It almost kind of sounds like what we had to deal with Unix, where all we have are man pages.
Yeah. Like the problem with these whatchamacallits? Documentations is that for app development, the documentation is basically this is what it does and here's a description of it, no examples.
Quality.
Have fun. So you're oh fuck. You just get out of the way. Come on, aim. So you don't have documentation for you don't have examples for these documentations. You just have a. I need to get my shield out. Holy crap! You just get a You just get the. Oh fuck! I killed it. You don't get the documentation. You only get like a description of what it might do, which is very unhelpful for the most part. Because like if you wanted to say, how do I draw a line in the graphical thing on the surface view in the thing, then fuck you. You don't give an answer to that. No, you figure it out yourself, you little shit. So you're gonna have to go online and get the 12 different answers on how to get that done, and not know exactly which one is the best for you.
I'm running off on some errands.
All right, which all accumulates to our final project in the Android Studio development thing. All right, our final project being. Produce your own app. Alright? So like so you have to come up with project ideas that you want to do, right? And if you don't have an idea on what you want to do, you can work on someone else's. Is this fully upgraded? What the hell?
Nice.
Yeah, it is full. What the fuck? when did that happen? Apparently that happened a long time ago, but alright. Are you fully upgraded? No, you're not. You're not. You def aren't. You def int. You're a tour, no. You're a tour, guys. Wait, is that fully upgraded? It is! When? When did I do this stuff? Slow down me. Oh god. Bomb. There you go. So if you didn't come up with a final project, then you're in order to get the grade, you're gonna have to work on someone else's project idea. And so I had my own project idea, which is basically a file encryptor for your Android phone.
Alright.
Alright, because I want to have want to have background in secure. How did that miss him? I want to have my background in security, right? So that's my project idea. And holy fucking shit! I can turn you into dust, yeah. And so the basic idea of my project idea is that you had the come on, there you go. You have your files on your phone, right, which you can get from external memory, and then from that the encryption is supposed to encrypt the file, right? And then put it in its own internal directory so that no one else can access it, and then delete the file that was encrypted, right? So you get your file from external memory, encrypt it, put it somewhere else, and then delete it, and then delete the file from external storage so that no one has access to it, right?
Yeah. Sounds
Sounds reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Guess what you can't do on Android anymore?
Deleting files?
Deleting files! They don't allow you to do that, like, from using the normal file stuff, right? Using normal Java file stuff, right? Like, you've probably worked with Java file before?
Not that much.
Not that, but you know what it's supposed to be like, right? You know what it's supposed to do, right? That coughing suggests otherwise.
No, that was me having salt.
Oh. Don't have salt then.
No, I don't quite remember how Java file works.
Well, either way, so you can't use the basically you can't use the normal files library for deleting files in Android apps because Google won't allow you to do that ever. So what you have to do instead is use their really messed up storage access framework, which includes URIs, which actually don't contain the paths of the files. So you can only get a reference to the file, which means you don't actually know where the file is. Which is what my project freaking requires. What it needs, otherwise you can't. It won't work. Right? Thankfully, there's a way around it. As long as your app has permission to do so, you can use the document file from file method, which basically creates that reference from an actual file. So you can just use Java file for that, and then encapsulate it in a document file, and then delete that document file. And then you'll be done with it. But that's not all!
You gotta encrypt it.
No. The encryption is easy. That's just AES. That's just AES. I know how to do that. All right. I'm an expert when it comes to shit like that. And by that I mean it's so easy a dead person can do it. But you're not. But when you're deleting a file, it doesn't actually delete the file. It's funny how that works, right? So when you delete the file, it doesn't actually delete it from the media storage, right? So the information of that file is still gonna be there and take up memory, right? And that memory doesn't get cleared until you like turn off your phone.
Fascinating.
So if you want it to work properly, you're gonna have. If you want to get the file to delete, you're gonna have to like call a media scan on that file, right? And then it'll check if it's there or not, and then like, oh wait, you're not supposed to be there, and then delete it, and then actually delete it this time.
That seems like a huge pain.
Yeah. Come on, get here. There we go.
Most issues I've heard really regarding Android are audio latency.
Yeah, that's whatever though. I wasn't dealing with anything audio besides audio files, I guess. But does that really count? Does that really count, my guy?
Probably not.
Oh my god! Fuck you.
You're dead.
I did all that just to gain multiplier, but now I lost the multiplier. Motherfucker. Let me scrounge up. Does an enemy really exist if he's too far away to be reckoned? They do! Nice! So if I fire here randomly...
Nice.
Nice. If a tree falls down in the forest, will it make a sound? Only if you walk within it. Only if you walk into the area after it falls down. Christ. But yeah. So you delete the file, right? And then you have to call the memory scanner in order to get it to be actually removed. And then it's actually deleted. But if you're doing with internal storage, you don't have to deal with any of that crap. You can just use the regular files to do this. And normal file creation works the exact same. So it's like, what the fuck? Why do you do this anyway? Android, explain yourself.
Big as a Star Cruiser and packing twice as much fire.
I guess you have to check to see if you're actually in the internal storage before deciding to do all this crap.
No, the phone already knows which one's internal storage and which one's external storage. So like all that crap you don't really have to deal with. What you do have to deal with though is goddammit. What you do have to deal with is that in my project, right, we had one of the things that was probably necessary for my project to work properly was to know when it's being uninstalled, because if you have a whole bunch of encrypted files already, right, and you decide you want to uninstall the app, the encrypted files gets deleted from internal storage, and so you no longer have access to your files. Those are just gone forever, right? So like, it's probably a good idea to like at least warn the people not to uninstall it when there's a thing that's going on, right? Guess what you can't do?
Exactly that.
You can't know when your app is being uninstalled. Which to be fair makes some sense, so that people don't open up back doors in your app when you uninstall it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's just a problem specifically for me, because then it just causes problems when there shouldn't be. But there's a way around it that somewhat works. Or there's a whenever your app is about to be uninstalled from the app manager, right? There's a broadcast signal that it gets sent out by the phone, and you can receive that signal. The problem is, the thing is though, like that signal is usually for other apps. So like if oh hey, there's an app being uninstalled, and because we received an uninstall signal, so maybe we would have to update based on what was uninstalled, right? Which makes some sense, right? But we want that to happen to our own app, right? So the uninstall broadcast is not specific. It gets sent every time an app is getting uninstalled, right? So you don't exactly know which one's getting uninstalled, except by package name. So if we receive the uninstalled intent, by the way, this is an intent to uninstall. It's not uninstalled yet. All right. So if we receive it, we can do some pre-uninstall method, such as restoring the user's files. Otherwise,
there's some data loss.
Otherwise, data gets lost, right? So that was what we were trying to do, right? The problem is we don't know when it's going to be canceled. So if they decide to uninstall, so if they click uninstall, right, and they're like, oh wait, I didn't want to uninstall this, right, and they click cancel, you can't know that either. So it's like, okay, you know, fine, fuck you. Alright, we'll just make it so that when you get back into the app, it just deletes those files again, even though there's a grace period where your files are all restored anyway, even though you didn't uninstall it. which kind of makes my app kind of pointless, right? It's like, god damn it. And you know what the worst part is?
What?
The worst part is that this solution to determine whether you're getting uninstalled, right? The solution that I found on Stack Overflow uses a higher version SDK than the phone that we were testing it on. So I couldn't even decide if it was working or not. Like, god damn it. But we got the basic stuff done with the encryption and whatnot, so like, you know what? Fuck it. That's a win in my book. Alright? So that was my Android app development thingy, Bob. I hope you liked it. So what other class did you take?
Globalization.
Do now?
Do you know what globalization is?
Somewhat. Is it? Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?
I don't know. Are you thinking of liberalization? Are you thinking of capitalism?
Oh dear. I think you're starting to speak my language.
Because that's one kind of globalization.
Does this mean that you're now eligible to talk about politics during my rants about politics and
No.
talks? Darn.
No, that's still all you.
Damn it!
There's a reason it's called random talks and not kid talks.
You're part of the discussion. You're here describing your classes with me, right?
Debatable.
Debatable, alright. Alright, I smell you. Rotate the camera this way. I can't describe how hard it is to rotate the camera while you're holding down the fire button.
Imagine rotating a camera.
I'm using the circle button to fire too, which is like the only button you can use to fire your weapon. So in order to control your camera, you use the right stick, and the circle button is also on the right. So your thumb is already holding down the circle button. So you could
just shift your hand around to make it work or something.
It's really dumb. Either way. Do I have any other missions going on? Not really. So, there's a scout plane missile on this planet, so I'm just gonna do that.
Hmm.
So, globalization, how be it do?
Certainly seems like the localization-based globalization's on its way out.
I understood what that means, I think.
You think?
You think?
Well, there's trade wars going on.
I mean, there is a trade war going on.
It seems like everyone's starting to segregate themselves.
Yeah. Is that what you're exploring? Oh, hey, it is.
Well, there's other kinds of globalization.
Like?
There's internationalization, which I think revolves around just...
Come on, you studied this stuff.
Yeah, I might immediately drop it from my brain afterwards.
Come on, you can do it. I believe in you.
Cross-border relations.
Yay!
That's always gonna be a thing.
Cross-borders.
Cross-border relations is always gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
You can't escape it.
There we go, I got it.
And like in the book we had, everything has a bias, including the person who wrote the book of globalization that we were reading.
Oh wait, that didn't kill him. Holy shit. What the fuck? Hard mode. New game plus mode. Why are you doing this to me?
It's almost like it's supposed to be hard or something.
Okay, that instantly killed him that time.
Maybe you didn't shoot him in the right place.
At least I have full... Oh yeah, this part. Do I even have a good weapon? No. Hey, the last nano check increased. Go, go, mighty bird. Oh, no, they're just gonna... Oh, fuck. Exploding. Maybe my damage was just getting decreased by shooting this little rock. That could be it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense to me at least. Giga Splitter. Oh my god! Why are you firing from all the way over there? Yeah, I can't shoot through this rock anymore. Camera? Zoom out, please. I want to see.
No, you don't.
Zoom out, camera! Why is this happening? Wait a minute! My camera broke. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Success. Okay, that killed him. No, I hit the rock. Alright. Oh, come on. And was that it for globalization?
There's also westernization.
Mm.
You can probably figure out what that is.
Nope.
But...
No! No! Yes!
think of it as parts of America culture taking over other places of culture instead.
How fascinating.
So, for example, McDonald's!
No! I know what I'm talking about McDonald's.
And then there's a definition the book we're reading came up with, which is respatialization.
Spatialization. What is with textbooks and making new vocabulary words just for themselves?
This isn't even a textbook. I think this is like a graduate level book.
Graduate level book. They're trying to get a new word invented. Oh fuck.
No, this is a relatively. I think it's a relatively old book.
How do I? Did I accidentally? I think I accidentally did off the. God damn it. Anyway, go on.
That mainly deals with the social geography being reconstructed.
So how did... Okay, so...
So, for example, you could think of the internet.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you hate this class?
It wasn't that bad.
Not that bad. Do you regret taking it, though?
Meh.
I always come to you for your strong opinions.
I rarely regret things, that's the thing.
That's understandable. So, now that you talked about one of your classes, now I can talk about...
Now you can talk about, like,
my other-
3 of yours.
my dumb class. Now that you talked about your dumb class, why don't me talk to you about my dumb class about African theater.
African theater?
Yes, African theater. Apparently there's enough African theater to constitute a class for a whole quarter of, you know, learning a jiggery, right? Except not really, because we also talk about Jamaica for some reason.
Nice.
And the Caribbean. That gets in there too. How did you sneak in there, you little shit? No, of course it's oh fuck. I'm joking. I'm kind of joking because of course the whatchamacallit. There's obviously a reason why they're like that. That did no damage. Oh.
That missed.
He's like scary close. Oh shit. Oh, I lost my multiplier. There goes my times 20 multiplier. Oh.
No money for you.
I was at like 7,000 before, and now I'm at 650. Just goes to show how crazy volt multiplication
And
is.
now you're even more broke.
Yeah. What weapon do I use to kill it? I guess I use you again. Old Faithful. Old Faithful, kill him with lasers. They don't teleport. Even if you're gonna, especially if you're gonna just come back to the same place. There we go. I hit him with the lift shot. The blind shot.
Nice EXP.
Yay. There we go. Oh yeah, this cutscene, remember?
Check it out.
Oh no, this cutscene.
I
Oh, thank goodness.
I ain't gonna put you through that again. Who do you think I am, evil?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Only sometimes. Holy shit!
Okay, so African theater. I did not pay attention to that class at all. Alright? I did zero of the stuff they wanted me to do for like homework and reading. I did zero of the reading, I did zero of the homework. I got a 90 on the midterm, so I'm like, you know what? Fuck this class! I ain't gonna do jack shit!
That's why we're friends.
Yep. Funny how that works.
Funny how it works.
Let's see. What?
Nice.
How did I miss the other two? I had it trained right on them.
Not enough, apparently.
Alright, and then giant robot. Yes. Nice.
Congratulations to employee JX34 on his promotion to Q1. On first class.
So I basically took nothing away from that class. I really hated theater. I wish theater can go die in a fire now. Oof. I actually died. Holy crap. So yeah. And then now that I talked about my useless class, you can talk about a more useful one that you had. If he had one. Holy shit.
Yeah, web design.
Web design. First, before you get into that, I just want to mention, when I fired my gun, it killed one guy, and then when the weapon upgraded, my lightning disappeared, so it only killed that one guy out of the 7 that I aimed at.
Nice.
Please fix your game that's this old. Thank you. Anyway, web design.
I got to learn about CSS and stuff like that.
How much do you hate it?
It's annoying sometimes.
Yeah. I had to.
And also JavaScript.
Yeah, I had to do one of the things I had to do during my internship that I talked about like a long time ago was I had to develop a web page to get the data to make the data show up on the web service, right? And so I didn't actually have to deal with the CSS because Jesus Christ, that's loud. Because I didn't actually have to deal with that crap because I just downloaded a template from online. So I was spared from learning CSS thoroughly. Much to your dismay, I guess.
And then we got into SCSS.
Bless you.
Which is it's a transpiled version of CSS that allows you to do things that you should be able to do in CSS, like nesting.
Oh, I remember that.
And also variables.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
cooperation.
It's like actually not complete garbage. And you have to transpile it to actual CSS because web browsers are garbage. Also JavaScript, that's a thing that exists.
Are you fucking serious?
Nice direct block.
So on the scale of 1 to 10, how much are you going to do web design in the future?
Probably a 1 or a 0.
Did you take it as an elective?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I thought there was more enemies over there. Apparently not. Whoops! Whoops! That was not medicine! Okay. How did you end up doing that quest?
The grades aren't in yet. But I think I got an A in it.
Yeah, you're always confident about your A's. Damn.
No, because the grade was on the canvas. I don't know how accurate it is, though. That's the problem.
Alright, that's fair enough. Was there tests?
There was a midterm and a final.
Okay, because my Android app development didn't have any tests. We just had to do the projects for homework. Which honestly I prefer because I'm not gonna learn everything about Android development on a test. What are you fucking crazy?
The test and midterm are set up so you can use your notes, but if you have to search everything, you're not probably gonna get it done in time.
Yeah, the normal. If I become a professor, I'll make it so that I'll make tests that everyone. You can do anything you want. You can look online, talk to your neighbor, and do all that crap. But everyone's grade is the lowest. Everyone's grade is going to be the lowest grade in the class.
Oh, communism.
Yes. Hit him! Hit him! God fucking damn it!
He certainly tried.
Oh, thankfully I fell off. There we go. Got it. He's gonna hit the mine. So yeah. So you had tests and all that crap.
Yeah.
And now that you now back to me.
Now back to you.
All right. Well, another class I took was machine learning.
How was that?
It was a lot better than AI. That's God damn it. It was a lot. It was a lot better than AI because AI was a bunch of nonsense. Oops. Like this, imagine machine learning, right? Where you actually learn the concepts of what machine learning is. Can you imagine it?
Maybe.
Maybe. Alright, now imagine machine learning where you don't know what everything does. That was AI! I'm gonna bring a flamethrower to a sniper rifle fight.
And win.
Ow. Fuck. Oh god. That was a lot of health. Oh fuck.
Nice stalemate.
Yeah, nice spawn point. God damn it. But yeah. So machine learning this time was a lot easier. It was a lot easier than AI because this time they actually teach you the concepts that happen in it. Come on, freeze to death. There we go.
Job there on level 2.
God damn it. Yeah. One of our projects for AI is that we had to develop our own model for identifying 10 categories of images. 28 by 28 images. That was annoying, but because it took so dang long for me. Yeah. Do you know? So you remember when I talked about before college when I talked about convolutional neural networks?
Somewhat.
Yeah. I was watching you uploaded that recently, so that's how I remember this. And I have to say, boy, was I a fucking idiot. I really hated everything I said about machine learning when I heard my mouth speak during that video. Because I got I left out a whole bunch of shit.
You pretty much got everything wrong?
It's not wrong per se, it's just not right.
Incomplete?
It's incomplete and not correct. Not fully correct. And it doesn't really describe the whole thing properly, you know what I'm saying? It's like misinformation on the internet. Camera. You know, like you learned in your globalization, I think. So, we learned about basic stuff, not really too fascinating. Just like, if you know what... It's just the basics, machine learning concepts. Like, nowadays I just find machine learning very boring. I don't really know, man. I don't really know if it's the wave or not. You know what I'm saying?
There's probably a lot of things this can apply to.
To be fair, I shouldn't have jumped that thing with a flamethrower when he has two massive...
You mean an ice thrower?
Ice thrower, yeah, whatever. Flamethrower, ice thrower, what's the difference?
One kills your enemies with fire and the other one kills it with ice.
I'm just gonna get this thing upgraded and then throw it away. I hate... This weapon really sucks in this game. Rip.
Rip the dream.
Rip the dream. Nice animations, bro. There we go.
Nice lack of sound. it didn't even play the level up sound. It
Nope.
just did the animation.
Yeah. Do I even have an upgraded weapon in here? Guess not. But yeah. Machine learning, it's alright now. I don't fuck with it though. I don't have the patience for that kind of crap anymore. And now, did you have any more classes?
Engineering management, but that was just typical management stuff.
Alright.
Nothing really noteworthy.
Alright, so how about a class that interests both of us more then? How about... That's what I'm talking about, hardware-software interface, baby!